G'day, folks. Seems like we've lost a bit of the video, but we'll try and play that a little bit later on and see how we go. Welcome aboard, folks. Today is an interesting day. There is lots of things going on right now. Breaking news in many ways. I am dealing with a couple of issues, both personal and with regard to helping hands. So let me get into things today. First of all, we've got our number one supporter here, Joe Hupp. G'day, Joe. Welcome aboard, buddy. Nice to have you on board. He's been rubbing it in a bit because he was saying that he was having a hot day there. Something about was meant to get 29 degrees and currently has got 18.7. Well, that's pretty. That's a pretty pleasant evening. Um, Also, he's had a busy day, so hopefully things will be on the up and up. A good time to relax. G'day, Ross. Welcome aboard, buddy. Nice to have you here. And Joe, you missed our breaking news live the other day, so you were so busy watching the Bathurst. Did your driver take the win? Was it the guy you were aiming for to take the win? All right. So let me first get into the breaking news. First of all, as I said, today's a day of mixed emotions. But let me start off with the good news first. Good news: Helping Hands for Cruising has now become a registered charity in the US. So we currently hold a 501c3, and what that means is that we can now do some fantastic fundraising for Helping Hands out of the not-for-profit arena. So obviously we're still looking at the Rock and Roll Cruise in 2025. It's going to be one of our major sources of income, plus a couple of other events that we're holding, and the board, Helping Hands for Cruising board, have been talking about those, and hopefully we will get some things happening for in the future. Get some things happening that will really bring in a bucket load of dollars. And as you know, Helping Hands for Cruising is purely a volunteer, well, not a volunteer, a donation-supported organisation. So our intention is that we want to get as many people on board a cruise who've never had the opportunity to travel before. Joe is saying that he was going for a Chevy Camaro, not a team, but the weirdest part is his favourite team, the Triple Eights, ended up winning. So Shane Van Ginsberg and Richie Stanaway. Oh, that's awesome. What are they in? They're in one of the Fords, the not the Camaro, but are they in the Mustangs? Is that what they're driving right now? On the negative side, folks, my heart goes out to the people on both sides of the fence who are the innocent people that are being affected by the issues in both Israel and also in Ukraine. Look, at the end of the day, war is not a good thing, and so those that are perpetrating the issues need to just have a good think. But at the end of the day, I have family in Israel, and my worries are there with them. And at the end of the day, those that perpetrate issues against innocents certainly deserve everything they get. So that's all I'm going to say right now about this issue. Let's talk about happy stuff. And the happy stuff is, let's get some people on board cruise ships. So try to get the actual video up, and for some reason some of my videos have been playing short when I try and bring them up in the intros. I will have to reload them again at some point. Alright, now Joe is saying that Shane and Richie were the first all-Kiwi driver team to win at Bathurst in a while. Well, you know what, mate? Hopefully they won't be the last. because with the end of this happy stuff, this pandemic that we've just had, we will start to see some really happy people coming along and doing some amazing things with not only with Bathurst, but also hopefully we can get the Formula One race up again. And this is going to be awesome. Ross is saying happy, happy, joy, joy. Well, we're trying to be happy, happy, joy, joy, because at the end of the day, the more money we get in on the books, the more opportunity we have for good stuff to happen. More people we get on a cruise ship. Joe is saying, hell yeah, Shane is heading your way for NASCAR. Oh yeah, that's right. Ross is saying that he saw Shane there in Chicago. Isn't that a band, Chicago? I think they were a really good band. Played in the late 70s, early 80s, I believe. All right, I'll stop stirring. So, good news, folks, is that we have our first recipient. There's a letter going out to that first recipient fairly shortly. Once we finalise all the details that and make sure that all their details are correct, we will get a letter off to the recipient, and they will be going on Amy's group cruise, which is almost 2 years to the date from the inaugural group cruise. So hers will be on the 21st of October 2024 on the Carnival Breeze, and I know that it's doing part of the Western Caribbean, so it's doing Cozumel and Prosecco or somewhere like that. I'll get it wrong. I know I'll get it wrong. So there we go. Joe is saying he'll be heading off a little later for a shower before Jimmy's live. Mate, you don't have to be clean for Jimmy's live. Jimmy's live is never clean. Well, yes, it is. I'm just kidding. But you don't have to be clean for his live. Seriously. Makes me feel really happy that you want to be around. Go and have a shower for Jimmy's live. I mean, I'm stirring, mate. Go and enjoy. Progresso. There you go. You see, I need another caffeine hit. Joe is saying we have a breakfast radio program broadcast throughout the Super Radio Network on a station called 2HD in Newcastle. The host does a thing called Early Bird Triple Treat. Oh yeah, what's that? Guess the 3 songs and win $50 worth of free. Oh my God, free petrol. But $50 doesn't get you much these days. I mean, seriously, if you think about it, I don't know what petrol is up in New South or in Dubbo, but here, to get petrol, we're looking at a little over $2.15 a litre. For those of you across the pond, $2 a litre equates to about just under $9 a gallon. So it's expensive. Fuel here is expensive. Ross is saying you need another swig of non-Fosters. Mate, I need another swig of a lot of other things other than non-Fosters. But hey, I'll stick with my caffeine hit right now. Joe, I'm glad you are thick-skinned, because you have to put up with guys like me. And, you know, I'm just one of those kind of guys, right? I'm joking. All right, so let me put things into perspective. So with the 501c3, we can now look at, for those of you across the pond, we can now look at getting some decent funding, some decent backing from various organisations that can actually write off against their funds, taking the taxes out and all that sort of stuff. And we can benefit by putting more people on a cruise. Right now, as far as the equivalent to the 501c3, that is the NCNS, the national, it's the National Charities and Not-for-Profit, NCNP, whatever it is. As far as they're concerned, there's a couple of things that we need to sort out. And once we get those sorted out, we will have our application there and we'll be able to do the same thing down under. So each country has to have their own charity statuses from what I understand. So right now we've got the US out of the way, which is our biggest market. And then next we'll be sorting Australia, getting that out of the way, which is our second biggest market. And then who knows, UK next maybe. And then we'll be able to organise cruises going from, from say the UK to the Mediterranean and back out again, and hopefully we can have a look at all sorts of gorgeous places like France and Croatia and all those sort of things. So there we go. Joe is saying Dubbo is anywhere from $2.27 to $2.34 per litre for regular unleaded. OMG. That's expensive. I mean, we were up there maybe 4 weeks ago, and then petrol started coming down again. The good news is, I don't know, Joe, have you got Costco up there? Because if you've got Costco and they've got fuel, you can get just underneath the $2 mark. So there we go. Michael Ann, g'day, welcome aboard. Just up for a bathroom break. Oh, so you're going to take me into the bathroom, do whatever it is you're going to do, and then you're going to head back to bed to go to sleep. Okay, that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I can handle rejection. But there we go. Helping Hands for Cruising is now a 501c3. That means that we can do all sorts of things. Now, I need to understand one thing here for a minute. 501c3 in the US, is that the same for Canada? Do we need to do stuff for Canada as well? Margalan is saying no, she already went. So she will listen for a bit, and that's awesome. So Margalan, you need to answer that question. Do we need to do a 501c similar for Canada? And if so, what do you call it? Okay. So the good news now is we're looking at, not only are we looking at the tribute cruise, but we're also looking at a couple of other things like silent auctions. We're looking at... Margalan says she's got no idea. Hey, Margalan, can you find out? Because that might be something we need to look at if we're going to get some cruises going out of Canada. We're looking at... not only are we looking at some... different types of auctions going on, silent auctions and so forth. But we're also looking at some other charity events, like maybe even a dress-up party somewhere. Any which way that we can get in touch with the cruise lines and get some assistance by having at least one or two people per cruise that we have a group cruise on, getting on there as a recipient. The hardest thing for us right now is, number one, finding the recipients, but more importantly, getting all the money we require in order to get those people on board. So if you know of somebody that you'd like to get on board a cruise ship, then simply what we ask you to do is, and I know that most of you will be watching this on the replay. What we're asking you, please, is if you have somebody that you feel is deserving, that means that that person, awesome, Michael, and thank you very much, appreciate that. If you have somebody that, what we consider as deserving is somebody who has, whether they be disabled or they are the carer of somebody who's disabled, or they've had life knock them in the whatchamacallits and have never ever had the opportunity to take a decent break, let alone get on a cruise ship. Those are the people that we want to sponsor on board a cruise ship. So what we're asking then is for you to just put together a 2 to 5 minute video telling us why you feel they should get on board the cruise ship. And once you've done that, the board will look at that. They will then assess the assess the recipient, and then we will get them on. The board will either say yes or no to being on board a cruise ship, and we will give them a vacation of a lifetime. So currently what we're looking at now is in 376 days, yep, on Amy's cruise there will be a recipient on there, and they will be notified shortly. We've just got to tidy up a couple of things. One is getting them to the cruise port. The second cruise that we're looking at is in 450 days. Out of Sydney is the Ducks cruise, and that is a 15-night cruise that goes out of Sydney and heads up to the South Pacific. So we're going to be taking in Vanuatu, New Caledonia, and Fiji. Then in 613 days, there is a cruise that goes out of Seattle and heads up to Alaska. That is run by Ocean to Ocean, and it's on the Norwegian Encore, I believe. And then right now it's looking like 780 days there will be, which will be around about November 2025, is the Rock and Roll Tribute cruise. I haven't got an exact date yet, but we'll see what's going on with that. Ross is saying that Canada is called a T3010 and must be filled every year or filed every year. US organisations cannot become Canadian registered charities and generally create an affiliated organisation in Canada. Okay, so now we need to think about that as time goes by. Maybe Michael Ann, you can look at the figures and so forth for us doing that so that we can get some cruises happening out of Canada. That would be awesome, because then we'd have US, Canada, Australia, maybe the UK. Who knows? What about New Zealand? Got to find out about New Zealand. Whether we need to do the same in New Zealand. Oh my goodness, we're becoming international. I think I need a bit more Kahlua in that coffee. I think I need some Kahlua. I haven't got any Kahlua. No wonder it tastes like coffee. Okay, so those are just some of the things that we're planning to get Helping Hands for Cruising up there and out there. We are excited to say that we've now got the legitimacy to do things, and really the legitimacy is the important bit. So one step at a time is really what we need to do. One step at a time. And so step one is US. We've got that sorted. Now we look at Australia. We'll get that sorted. Shouldn't take too long. And then once that's done and we've got some financials in the coffers, we will look at Canada and then perhaps UK and see what goes on. Anyway, it's one step at a time, folks. That's all I can say. One step at a time. Ross is saying, set up the foundation and establish it as a legal entity, either in the form of a trust or corporation. A trust can be established by way of a trust deed, whereas a corporation has to be incorporated. And that is under the relevant provincial, territorial, or federal legislation. So maybe in Canada we set up a trust. We'll see. Once an entity is established, the next step is to apply for a charitable registration through the Canada Revenue Agency. Do you know what I'm getting out of this discussion, Ross? Ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. Yeah, it's only money going out. Trying to get money coming in so that we can do what we're supposed to do, which is put people on cruises. Tell you what though, some of the cruises that are being done, I know Michael Ann is going on Amy's group cruise. That's going to be an amazing group cruise. Um, it's going to be fun. I know they're going to have lots of fun. Now Ross is saying applying isn't a straightforward process. The application requires substantial documentation and a description of your intended activities and a review process that ultimately decides whether you get approved or not. Why does Canada sound so much like Australia? Some of the legals, it's just incredible. Okay, Ross goes on to say that the CRA will decide the designation of the charity, whether it is to be a charitable organisation, public foundation, or a private foundation. Yeah, we get told whether we are a charity or a not-for-profit. That's what we get told. But other than that, the application is the same. If you're carrying the charity, then you're fine. I've got another charity set up for another function teaching first aid, and that becomes an interesting setup. Ross is saying the decision is based on various factors such as the source of funding, the relationship between the trustees and directors, and the intended goals of the foundation. Hey, g'day Marjorie Ambrose. Welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. Nice to see you. We're talking about the news today, which is our 501c3 for the US, which is a good thing. By the way, I did do some editing earlier on, and the thumbnail shows two QR codes. One of them says AUD and the other one says USD. So I haven't actually got it on this particular slide, and I will get it on my background next time round because I just was in a bit of a rush. But what I'm going to say to you folks is have a look at whichever QR code you want. If you like the QR code that says USD, you just click on that, and then you then make your donations in US dollars. If you use the other one, the donation will come in Australian dollars. And we then need to look at where monies go and which organisations will get what dollars. So there we go. It becomes a little bit on the complicated side, but we're fine there. Ross is saying to start a foundation in Canada, you would likely require the assistance of a financial advisory firm or a law firm costing anywhere between 5 to 15 grand. It's only money. Told you. G'day Marjorie. It's only money. I told you. By the way, Stream Elements is saying Helping Hands would like to thank you for your donation. So if you have already donated, we really appreciate that. So that's the news, and currently what we're looking at is the 3 cruises out of the US, the one going out of Galveston, which is Amy's cruise. It's going to be a small group, and the recipient is going to be really pampered because I know who's going on that cruise. A couple of board members, and the recipient is just going to have an absolute ball. It does Cozumel and a Progresso. Is that it? Progresso. Let me have a look. Let me just go back up in the chat and just to clarify that. Yes, Progresso. That's an interesting name for a city. But anyway, so it'll go into Cozumel and Progresso. It's a 5-day cruise, as far as I'm aware. So it's going to be awesome. It's on the Carnival Breeze, and I know that Michael Ann has got her finger on the pulse. So there we go. Now I know that the one that's going out on Progresso. So what? Okay. The one that's going out of Seattle will be an interesting one. We class that as a bucket list cruise. That's 613 days on the Norwegian Encore. Okay, I'm being taught here. Progresso, 1S, not 2. Ah, there we go. But you see, my initials get in everywhere. SO. Okay, Sean, moving on. So, yeah, the one in 613 days on Ocean to Ocean's Norwegian Encore, that's a group cruise that we would find as being on our bucket list. And the reason why we want to go there is because, guys, we've never been to Alaska. So that would be an interesting one. There's only one small problem with that particular cruise. The bank won't let me go. The next cruise going out is the tribute cruise, and I can tell you that is one cruise that we're so looking forward to. We are, whichever cruise ship is going to be amazing. We're hoping we still do the West Caribbean, which goes out of Cozumel. Was it Roatan, Cozumel, and a couple of other places. It depends on which cruise line we use. There are currently a couple of issues right now with the cruise ship that we had originally booked. So we shall see how we go. Now, I can tell you now, the one in 450 days is, because it's in our backyard, going out of Sydney. Costa Maya, says Ross. Well, again, it depends on which cruise line we go on. So, anyway, we're looking forward to whichever one we get on. But the one in 450 days going on, we're going on the Celebrity Edge. I don't know if anybody's been on the Celebrity Edge, but that is it's a relatively new ship as far as Australia is concerned. And the good news is, well, it's a bit on the bigger side, but the good news is it takes us all the way through to Fiji, and it's going to be an absolutely awesome cruise. We've got a couple of people coming out of Queensland that we know of. We're hoping to get a few people come out of the US to come and join us. So, the options and the opportunities are all there. We just have to wait and see how we go. But the most important thing is, how do we get out of Sydney? And that's the thing that the cruise ship is going to do very pleasantly, because it's going to reverse out of the port, out of the dock, put its tail right underneath the coat hanger or Sydney Harbour Bridge, and then what it's going to do is sail forward out through Sydney Harbour, out through the heads, and that is one spectacular view. So we're looking forward to that. You guys are going to all come and join us. It's going to be fun. I mean, it's only money, right? So there are big things for this channel. There are big things for Helping Hands. The good news is there are a bucket load of people who now see our vision, and we will be getting many videos up on the channel so people can actually see what it is we are trying to achieve, and how much excitement there is from the recipients once they've been on the cruise. And I can tell you, Kenny's life was changed. Kenny's life was severely changed. He's now in a much better place. He's now in a much better frame of mind, so much so that Kenny's actually booked his own cruise in 31 days. I mean, that's incredible. So there we go. Marjorie is saying g'day to Michael Ann. So Michael Ann, you better pay back the g'day. Well, there you go. See, you've been told. Very nice. I'm glad that people are actually communicating with each other. There's and look, folks, what I'm going to suggest is for the tribute cruise, because really the tribute cruise is going to be our major fundraiser for 2025. And what I'm going to suggest, folks, is we don't know what ship it's on, but if you get in touch with Bruce from Ocean to Ocean and just say you would like to join us, because we're looking at a bucket load of people going on that, you would like to join us on the tribute, the rock and roll tribute cruise, and you'd like to put $100 down, I'm pretty sure Bruce would be happy to accept that as a deposit, and then when we actually sort out the ship, he will then be applying that to the relevant ship. So there we go. Michael Ann says she wishes Kenny the best on his cruise. Absolutely, we all do. I think he's going to have an absolutely good time. Even though he's on his own, I believe he's going to be having a good time. Ross is saying that he's working from home today under the weather. Ross, I thought you had a roof above you. And if you do, how can you be under the weather? Okay, move on, Sean. I think I'll just take another swig. So that was my small latte, folks. Latte that I made myself with our espresso machine. So there we go. So, yeah, so we're looking forward to that particular... we're looking forward to that particular cruise, the rock and roll cruise, because that will mean that we have to come stateside, and that will be exciting. It'll be our second time stateside, so you know, the first time was the inaugural group cruise on the Carnival Horizon. That was an awesome cruise. I can tell you we had an awesome amount of time. The guy who was the cruise director on board that ship was an absolutely amazing guy. He kept us in stitches of laughter. We did all sorts of things, and what do you know, we had an amazing amount of fun. Okay, he's telling me to shut up. I know he is. And yes, you can say shut up, Sean, especially with my jokes. I still want to know, how do you get under the weather? And if you feel that you'd like to get out from under the weather, you can always come down under and enjoy our scorching 29 degrees round Dubbo, which is where Joe is living. So there you go. Oh, there we go. Ross has just told me to shut up. Yep, shut up, Sean. Yep, there we go. I can handle that. Oh, response message. Interesting. Okay. So, hope you feel better, Ross. That's what's coming from Stream Elements. No, it's coming from Michael Ann. We all hope you feel better, mate. Now, Ross, if you're feeling under the weather, how's Donna feeling? Oops, got to be careful. You guys are waking up, and we are going to sleep. So I better be careful what I say. So yes, we all hope you feel better. Because I said no, not because you said shut up. I told you you can speak. You can say it. I've got broad shoulders. She's sleeping. So you feel so bad that you woke up for this particular stream. Well, I'm glad you did. Okay, folks. Well, I've given you all the news. Not much else. I'm possibly going to be looking at Jimmy's live when he wakes up, which will be in about an hour, I think, or half an hour. At any rate, folks, keep on watching this space. Helping Hands for Cruising is growing. 501c3 here. Ross has been up since 2 o'clock. Hey, mate, that was me last night, let me tell you. 501c3 will certainly make a difference in the US. We'll be doing something similar down under. And Canada, we have to figure out how we're going to handle that one. But at the end of the day, folks, we're looking forward to all the benefit that we can get. And all the life-changing that's going to be going on. I can tell you, quite honestly, every single person that went on board that Helping Hands for Cruising group cruise, every single person, their life was changed one way or another. So that was our excitement, and we're incredibly grateful for having had that experience. Tomorrow night, Down Under Cruises, we'll be doing a live stream. We'll be chewing the fat. talking about all things cruising. And then on Friday night, US time. Oh, Joe, I can smell it from here, mate. Absolutely gorgeous. What was that? Is that Brute you're using? Um, um, so on Friday night we'll be running our live stream as per normal, which will be Saturday our time down under. Saturday at 1 o'clock. Interestingly enough, we're going to be having an election. It's actually a referendum. There's an attempt to change part of our constitution down under. Joe, have you voted, or are you going to go and vote? That's on Saturday, by the way. So there we go. Joe's saying, nah, Dettol antibacterial body wash. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. Don't be horrible. Don't be horrible. Joe's going with a lime scent. Lemon lime scent. Well, that's cool. At least you smell good. So now we can get you out in front of Jimmy, and then we'll go there and see what happens, huh? Mine is done via postal. Because you might be working on Saturday, or you just don't like getting in the crowds. Oh, we missed out on postal because we're just a little bit slow with that, I think. Orange cone is doing whatever those are. I don't know what those are. I can't see them. Besides the fact that I'm colourblind. But there we go. All right. So Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll be doing our lambs to the slaughter. There we go. Lambs to the slaughter. There we go. Joe is going. Mum's also done it via postal. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think I need a bit of a break, so I'll get up and go and just put my 2 cents worth in. Nothing less than 8 Ks from the nearest polling station. Wow. Our polling booth is like right on the corner of where we live, so it's easy for us to get there. Anyway, folks, I'm going to call it quits right now. I'm going to see if I can get this video to work. But as I said, we shall catch you all tomorrow at 8 p.m. Melbourne time, and then 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time US on Friday night, which will be 1 p.m. Melbourne time here. Denise, how are you? I'm trying to finish up and you pop on in. Now I've got to talk for a couple of minutes. But I'm really glad you've come on in. Are you on a shift at the moment and finishing off the shift, or are you getting ready for your shift? Postal voting can be done if your address is greater than 8 Ks from the nearest polling station. Mate, actually, you can do a postal vote at any point, whether it be for whether you are over 8 Ks or you have other commitments on a Saturday. Like for some, it's religious reasons. Denise is working, so she wants to go to bed, which is cool. And when she gets off in 2.5 hours, that's exactly where she's going to go. Straight to the pool room. I mean, straight to bed. Hey, Joe, where did that line straight to the pool room come from? This is going straight to the pool room. Where did that come from? It was a movie. It was a movie. An Aussie movie. I'll give you a hint there. Luckily, he worked last Saturday. Well, that's cool. So for us, yeah, it's gonna be next week, this coming week. So there we go. This is going straight to the pool room. It's a fork. I use it to scratch my cheek. Anyway, enough, Sean. As I said, folks. Okay, so Joe's saying, I'm hoping to go to see Akmal Sela in Dubbo on the 10th of November. Oh, Akmal's cool. I think you'll enjoy that. Denise is saying we'll be back from our cruise in time to vote in our governor's race. Wouldn't it be the castle? And yes, you are right. It is the castle. It's the vibe of the thing. Very good, Joe. I'm impressed. Now, Denise, your governor's when is your what state are you in that you have to vote in your governor's race? All these elections drive you crazy. Straight to the pool room. Oh, you're in Mississippi, that's right. Oh yes, Joe. The Serenity. Yeah, but what was the place that was where the Serenity was? I forget the town now. And I've actually driven through that town. Where they had their house. Mississippi from Denise, and be right back. That's cool. Joe says he needs to catch up with a friend of his who lives in Ireland but was born in Shreveport, Louisiana soon. Well, mate, Bonnie Doon, that's right. Bonnie Doon, that's right. See, when you get old, you think you forget things. Joe, mate, thanks for popping in. If you want to make tracks, that's cool. See you at Jimmy's anyway. And yeah, Bonnie Doon, folks from the other side of the pond, you guys got to come down here and visit Bonnie Doon, the Serenity. Yep. And if you can get a hold of it, have a look at this movie called The Castle. It's typical Australian humour, and it is, you'll find it interesting. It tells you about every man who has his castle. All right, folks. With that in mind, I'm actually see you soon. You need to see The Castle. Yes, you do. Folks, I'm going to call it quits. I'm going to let you go ahead about your business, do whatever it is you guys need to do. And I'm going to get myself all organised and see how we go. So what I'm going to say to you folks is have an awesome day, and we shall catch up with you next time. Take care. Have a great day.
Have you ever dreamt about taking a cruise on one of them fancy boats, soaking up the beauty and the magic just to free your soul? It's floating on the ocean, just a notion that seems out of reach. One thing on your bucket list is just to go and see the beach. You wanna see the world, but something always holds you back. You got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but helping hands is helping making dreams come true.
Helping hands for cruising, cruising. Helping hands for cruising, cruising. Helping hands for cruising, making your dream a reality.
You know you gotta do the things you've only dreamed about. Don't let anything stop you thinking you can't go all out. You can do the things you never thought were possible, with helping hands to help you get there. Even oceans are no obstacle. You wanna see the world, but something always holds you back. You got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but helping hands is helping making dreams come true.
Helping hands for cruising, cruising. Helping hands for cruising, cruising. Helping hands for cruising, making your dream a reality.
So if you ever dreamed about taking a cruise in one of them big old boats, soaking up that sun, feel that breeze, yeah, there is still hope. Don't let the ocean be a notion that is out of reach. Let's get together, help each other, and go see the sea. You wanna see the world, but something always holds you back. You've got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but helping hands is helping making dreams come true.
Helping hands